Hello everyone, welcome to official YouTube channel of Office Study 24/7. How are you all? So today, this is our next class, or I can say the sixth class, that is regarding the Back to Basics series. In this particular series, we are discussing each and every topic of yours, in which we are talking about all the basic concepts and the overall concept which is required to understand each and every topic of your in the IE/IFS subject. Okay. So if you want to attend the regular session of IE/IFS session, you can join the Office Study 24/7 YouTube channel in the morning at 7:30 a.m. If you are a bilingual candidate and you want a bilingual session, so you can join the session at 7:30 p.m. every day only on Office Study 24/7. Okay, so let's move forward, and I will be your mentor for May 2024 JAIIB exam for PPB as well as for IE and IFS. So let's start the session. In this particular session, we are going to talk about the second part of your Unit 3, that is the Economic Planning in India and NITI Aayog. And this is the total number of classes 6. But the part of the chapter we are talking today is the second part. Okay, Unit 2's second part we will be discussing today. So let's start. So in this particular session, we will going to talk about the NITI Aayog. In the last session, if you have seen that session, so you know we have discussed the what is economic planning, what is planning, how the origin of economic planning have been seen, what are the objectives of economic planning, who has given the definition of economic planning, what was the history of economic planning in India. Then we also discussed about your what we can call it, the planning commission. The planning commission used to be the planning body of our country that used to make the 5-year plans. We have discussed that, and in the end we have discussed a little bit of NITI Aayog, but in today's session we are all going to talk about the NITI Aayog only. Okay, so let's start the session. I hope you all have heard about the NITI Aayog. So in the NITI Aayog, if we talk about, first of all, those who have joined this here live, this particular session, do let me know in the comment section what actually the full form of NITI Aayog. I have told the full form of NITI Aayog to all of you in the last session. Okay, also those who are watching the recorded session, do let me know in the comment section when you are watching the recording class that what is the full form of NITI Aayog. Now let's start. The NITI Aayog was introduced on 1st of January 2015. On 1st of January 2015, NITI Aayog was formulated, and it replaced the Planning Commission. It replaced the old planning body, that was the Planning Commission. And Planning Commission used to make the 5-year plans that have been replaced by the NITI Aayog. Okay. Apart from that, if I talk about the NITI Aayog is a think tank for Government of India. It is what? It is a think tank for Government of India. It will make its own plans. It will implement those plans. It will monitor the plans and will take the feedback of the plan accordingly. Everything will be done by the NITI Aayog only. If you remember, in the Planning Commission, we have discussed that we used to have a NDC, National Development Council. The National Development Council used to approve the 5-year plan of the Planning Commission, as well as it used to allocate the resources to the Planning Commission plan. But now in case of NITI Aayog, if we talk about, it's a think tank. It will be, or it is, a self-sufficient institution to perform the planning in the country. If I talk about the NITI Aayog, what NITI Aayog is actually doing, its task is first to provide technical assistance. It provide technical assistance. It provide long-term. It design long-term policies and strategies for the Government of India, and not only for central government. It perform this task for central as well as state government. So it help out the central government and the state government in the technical assistance. It provide it design the long-term policies and long-term strategies for the government of the state and central, so that they can achieve their target of development of the country, and the planning, economic planning, will be done very easily with the help of NITI Aayog. Apart from that, if we talk about the NITI Aayog, when the NITI Aayog started working, so actually what happened, if you remember, we have discussed that there are total 12 5-year plans. How many 5-year plans are there? There are total 12 5-year plans. And out of these 12 5-year plans, we have found out that the last plan was started in 2012 and ended in 2017. But in 2015, I am saying that NITI Aayog was introduced. So what happened after 2015? From 12 to 15, this 12th five-year plan was continued by the Planning Commission, but from 15 to 17, it was continued by the NITI Aayog, because on 1st January 2015, Planning Commission was replaced. So NITI Aayog was continuing this particular plan in the country till the 2017. So if somebody asks, if the question asks when the NITI Aayog started its own planning, it is 2017 onwards. Because till 2017, NITI Aayog was completing the 12th five-year plan of the Planning Commission. Okay, so do remember this also. So this is the basic introduction of the NITI Aayog. And also I asked with all of you, what is the full form of NITI Aayog, right? So what is the full form? Full form of NITI Aayog is National Institution. It is National Institution. It's not institute, it is institution for transforming India. For transforming India. Okay, this is the full form of your NITI Aayog, National Institution for Transforming India. Now, if I'm talking about NITI Aayog, why NITI Aayog has replaced the Planning Commission, why this was introduced? So there were 4 demerits. There used to be 4 demerits in the Planning Commission. The first demerit of Planning Commission was that it used to focus on a single sector, on a one sector. Let's say, for example, the first five-year plan was introduced in 1951 and it continued till 1956. So in the first five-year plan, we have already focused on the agriculture sector development. In the second five-year plan, we have focused on establishing the plants, like the industrial development we were doing. So somehow in 1 year, you are in 5-year duration, you are focusing on a single sector. So in 5 years, you had developed the agriculture, but the industry and service sector was not developed. In the next 5 years, you are developing industrial sector, but somehow agriculture sector and service sector is getting no attention from the side of the government, or very less attention from the side of the government, because Planning Commission have given you a plan. So this used to happen. That was the first demerit of Planning Commission, and that's why Planning Commission was replaced by the NITI Aayog. Now NITI Aayog is what? NITI Aayog is your think tank. What is NITI Aayog? NITI Aayog is your think tank. And when we talk about the think tank here, when we talk about the think tank here, think tank or institution actually focus on all the sectors together, because it's an institution. That's why it is working all together on all the 3 sectors of the country. So this was the first demerit of Planning Commission. The second demerit of Planning Commission was the Planning Commission used to take the fund from the states, but the plan was made according to the central government. It means in the Planning Commission, the government used to do the centralized planning. Centralized planning means you have a single authority, and that authority will make plans, and all the states and all the union territories will just follow those particular plans. They did not have any kind of authority to give their feedback, to give their suggestions regarding the 5-year plan. They just have to follow those 5-year plans because the central government have given that. And that was the centralized planning of Planning Commission. This was not acceptable by the states, because let's say, for example, if I am living in a certain state, I am living in Haryana. Let's say I am living in Gurugram. So I am living in Haryana. Here in the Gurugram, there is a lot of air pollution, as you know, Delhi NCR. Always, or not all, yes, always there is a air pollution, but at the time of this Diwali, so a lot of air pollution have to be faced by the Delhi NCR people. So now Haryana government has given a certain fund to the Planning Commission and asking for the air purifiers. Like, we need air purifiers everywhere. We have to provide people, we have to save the lives of the people, because if you are living in Delhi NCR, already you have lost a certain years from your life. Okay, so that's why the Haryana government have given the certain money to the Planning Commission that we want this particular development. But what happened in that particular year, the centralized plan was made, and it was saying that we will be focusing on agriculture sector for the next 5 years, in fact for the next 5-year plans. Now what happened? The state's money gone to the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission invested that money in the agriculture. States development have not been done, and its states are not happy with this. So states were objecting to provide capital to this Planning Commission. They were not ready, or they were not accepting this particular thing that we have to provide fund to the central government. or the planning commission, but our needs will not be fulfilled. That's why we are not going to provide the fund. So this was the second dispute, or I can say the second reason why planning commission was replaced by the NITI Aayog. If I talk about the third dispute, or not the dispute but the disadvantage or the demerit, I can say, was the planning commission was the advisory body only. It used to provide advice by providing 5-year plans to the government, but it was approved, it used to be approved, and it used to be get resource allocation from the permission of NDC, National Development Council. So there used to be two planning body. The planning commission used to give the advice, and the NDC used to approve it and provide resources for the same. So now what used to happen actually, the NDC or planning commission always have to be disputes between them. Planning commission has provided a certain different plan, but NDC have done the certain changes or have not provided resources accordingly. So the two planning body of government of India used to always have a what we can call it, the dispute. So that's why the planning commission was removed. Now also in the planning commission, we have seen that the planning commission was making top to bottom plan. It means the central government was making the plan and the state government, union territory have to follow that. So top to bottom planning used to happen. That is also known as the centralized planning. So these were the 4 demerits. All the 4 demerits have been seen in the planning commission, and it has seen that now the economy needs a different kind of direction for the development of the country. But planning commission was not fulfilling that particular gap in the planning requirements. So that's why planning commission was replaced by the NITI Aayog. Now the first demerit was replaced because NITI Aayog is working for all the sectors together. It is developing all the sectors together. Second, the NITI Aayog is doing decentralized planning. Decentralized planning means planning will be done at every level, at central level, at a state level, at union territory level, at village level, at panchayat level. Everybody will have their rights to say what they want in the planning. Okay, now the third thing is, if we talk about NDC, NDC was merged with the NITI Aayog. NDC is not working anymore. So now NITI Aayog is a think tank. It is the self-sufficient institution which will plan, implement those plans, evaluate those plans, monitor those plans, and then take the feedback and accordingly do the changes in the planning. So it's a self-sufficient institution, a self-sufficient think tank that will make everything decided by itself. They do not need NDC. So the disputes have been removed, and the planning was started from planning. NITI Aayog started doing planning from bottom to top model. It means at the village level, at the lower level, the planning will be made and it will be implemented at the higher level, or it will be taken to the higher level. This was the changes we have seen in the planning of country or the economic planning of the country when we replace the planning commission with the NITI Aayog. And all these things you have to remember. Okay, so next continue. Now we are talking about the introduction. I have told you, let's see, formed on 1st January 2015, replaced the planning commission, and it was done to better serve the needs and aspiration of the people of our country. Then NITI Aayog acts as what? Acts as an essential platform to the government of India to bring states to act together. Achha, apart from that, NITI Aayog is also playing a very important role. It bridge the gap between the central and state government. It means it will try to make sure that always the relation between the central government and the state government will be good. And it's creating a competition among the states, but it's a healthy competition. So it is providing you a cooperative federalism. It is providing you a certain kind of environment that is very easy to follow, and that helps out to implement policies a bit quicker. Hana, to complete your task a bit quick, because there is no disputes between the states and union territories or central government or state government. So this is one of the what can I say, one of the very important tasks that NITI Aayog is performing. Okay, now apart from that, as I have told you, it's a think tank of government of India. It provides directional and policy inputs to the government. It designs the strategic and long-term policies for the government of India. It also provides relevant technical advice to the government of India. The government of India means to the central as well as the state governments. So NITI Aayog work for the central as well as the state governments, to remember that. We have also done one question on the same topic in the last class, in the yesterday's class. Okay. Now, NITI Aayog, if we talk about NITI Aayog have seen the 4 main heads. Accordingly, they are working to achieve the objectives of NITI Aayog. So what are the features or what are the four main heads? First, NITI Aayog design the policy and program framework. It foster the cooperative federalism. It monitor and evaluate the planning of the NITI Aayog. It is a think tank or knowledge and innovation hub that always. So what happened now? Planning commission used to make plan on the basis of the requirement of the country only. And like this is the requirement of the country, accordingly the plan will be made. Now what NITI Aayog is doing? NITI Aayog is a think tank, it's a knowledge hub, it's an innovation hub. So NITI Aayog also checks what the other countries are doing that have given them the success or that have made them to achieve the target of being a developed country. So all those projects, all those initiatives, all those planning or all those ideas that the other country have used in a particular sector, that's also adopted by NITI Aayog. So NITI Aayog do research on the international market as well and accordingly decide what out of those international market, what can be done in the country as well that will be beneficial for our country's development. Okay, this is also done by the NITI Aayog. So that's why it's a think tank, knowledge hub and innovation hub. And this was not in the planning commission. Planning commission was not doing that. Planning commission was just focusing on the national development of the country and whatever required to develop the country, that was the sufficient thing that the planning commission was doing. Okay, now what are the roles of NITI Aayog? You can see NITI Aayog provide a critical, directional and strategic input into the development process. It brought a genuine and continuing partnership of the states. It brings better coordination between the center and the state and among ministries, which help implementing the policies faster here. It formulates the plans at village level, aggregation at a higher levels. This was done by the NITI Aayog. So first, it provides what? It provides a critical, directional and strategic input into the development process. Second, it brought a genuine and continuing partnership of state. It brings the better coordination between center and state and among ministries, which will help in implementing the policies faster. Apart from that, the formulation of plans at village level, aggregation at higher level was done. So it's very simple. Now, the direction and strategic input was given. Genuine and continuing partnership of the state have been seen. They are working together. Apart from that, you have a better coordination between the center and the state. So your plan will be implemented soon and it will be completed soon. And the plan will be made at the lower level, village level, then it will take on to the higher levels. Now, next role is it will provide government at the central and state level with relevant strategic advice across the spectrum of key elements of the policy. Like whatever help, whatever advice the central government or the state government required, that will be provided by the NITI Aayog, apart from the policies. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. Okay, next. It also monitor and evaluate the implementation of program and focus on the technical upgradation and capacity building. So everything will be done by the NITI Aayog because it's a self-sufficient institution, or I can say a think tank, because that's why it's implementing, evaluating, monitoring each and everything of the planning. It fosters cooperative federalism, active involvement of states as well. Okay, so this was the role of the NITI Aayog. Now, what planning the NITI Aayog is doing? So planning commission used to make the 5-year plans for the country, and those 5-year plans was used to have a proper economic planning in the country. Now, what type of planning NITI Aayog is doing? First, NITI Aayog has introduced the 15 years vision document. NITI Aayog has introduced the 15 years vision document. Okay, 15-year vision document. So we have taken a certain target that we have to achieve by 2030. The 15-year vision document have been taken, like we have a vision. After 15 years, India should be at this particular position. India should be at this particular development. So this is what the 15 years vision document have been created by the NITI Aayog. Now, next, if we talk about to achieve this 15 years vision, NITI Aayog have introduced 7 years National Development Agenda. Under the 7 years National Development Agenda, 7 years scheme, 7 years strategy, 7 years policy will be made so that the 15 years vision document target will be achieved. And to check that this 7 years National Development Agenda is actually helping us out to achieve the 15 years vision document or not, for that we have introduced the 3 years action plan. we have introduced the 3 years action plan. Okay, what is 3 years action plan? So the 3 years action plan will actually evaluate the 7 years national development agenda in every 3 years. Hana, you will evaluate the 7 years national development agenda every 3 years to check out that whatever plan we have made in the NDA, that is actually working or not. We are achieving or we are closing near to our target or not. That was the 3 years action plan is doing. So this is the type of planning that NITI Aayog is doing. Okay, so the 5 years plan of planning commission was replaced by all these 3 steps of the NITI Aayog. Okay, so do remember that this is very important. Now the composition of NITI Aayog, like how many members will be in the NITI Aayog and what members will be doing what. That's the composition of NITI Aayog. So first of all, obviously one chairman will be there. And the chairman of NITI Aayog will always be your prime minister because it's an ex officio post. What is it? It's an ex officio post. So right now, Mr. Modi is the chairman of NITI Aayog. Now, one vice chairman will be there. Okay, one chief executive officer will be there, CEO. 4 full-time members will be there. Full-time members means, Acha, if we talk about the NITI Aayog, when it was introduced, there were four full-time members. After that, one was replaced from here and was made chairman of Economic Advisory Council of Prime Minister by Mr. Narendra Modi only. So there used to be 3 full-time members, but now again there are 4 full-time members. In 2018, Government of India says that we have to increase this particular composition of NITI Aayog. So the Government of India says that we need 4 ex officio members also. Ex officio members means those members whose post have been decided as per the whose role have been defined under the NITI Aayog as per the post of the. It means whoever will be the finance minister of your country, that person will be your ex officio member. Whoever will be your, let's say, for example, defense minister, he will definitely be the ex officio member here in the NITI Aayog. So such kind of 4 posts should be there. And also Government of India introduced the 4 posts for special invitees. Now, special invitees are a kind of a post that represent as a part-time members. So whenever you need them, whenever you need to make development in their areas, in their particular sector, then you will call these members, otherwise no. So these are the 4 special invitees. Okay, so this is the composition of NITI Aayog we have discussed in this particular session. So this is all for today's the concept that we have discussed, but now we are going to practice the certain number of questions on the content we have covered today. But before that, let me know, is there any doubt you are having in this particular session? If you have any doubt, you can ask here in the live chat, and if you are watching a recorded session, you can ask your doubts there also. And I'm checking each and every session's comments, and I'm answering them. So if you find any particular doubt, you can ask in the comment section. Now let's start with the question. The first question is talking about which of the following is not matched correctly about NITI Aayog. First, NITI Aayog's head office is Delhi. Mr. Narendra Modi is the chairman. Parent agency is Government of India, and NITI Aayog replaced the NDC. So which of the following you think is not correctly matched, or it's not matched about the NITI Aayog? So it's very obvious, it's D. NITI Aayog have not replaced the NDC. NITI Aayog replaced the Planning Commission. Okay. Now the second question is talking about which of the following is not the function of NITI Aayog? Not the function of NITI Aayog. First is saying to evolve a shared vision of national development priority sector and studies. This is so true. Second is saying to foster cooperative federalism. This is also true. To give final approval to the 5-year plan. This is not true. The final approval to the 5-year plan used to be given by the NDC. But now both are abolished. 5-year plans have been stopped, and as well as NDC was merged under the NITI Aayog. So now this is not a function of NITI Aayog. This was the function of the NDC. Okay, to give the final approval to the 5-year plans. Now, which of the following statement correct about the NITI Aayog? So you have to answer here which of the following statement is correct about the NITI Aayog. First, you have the aim of NITI Aayog is to achieve sustainable development goals and to enhance cooperative federalism. Second, the Prime Minister of India is the ex officio chairperson of NITI Aayog. Third, there are 8 full-time members in the NITI Aayog. So these are the certain statement in front of you. Out of that, you have to find out the correct. So it's very obvious. NITI Aayog is aimed to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal. There are 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and it also enhances the cooperative federalism in the country. Prime Minister of India is the ex-officio chairman of NITI Aayog. This is also true. But NITI Aayog have 8 full-time members. I have just told you NITI Aayog have 4 full-time members. The 8 full-time members used to be in the Planning Commission, not in the NITI Aayog. So right answer will be only 1 and 2. Third statement is incorrect because there should be only 4 full-time members. Who of the following is the part of governing council of NITI Aayog? So in the governing council of NITI Aayog, I have told you all the chief minister of states as well as all the lieutenant governors of your union territory will be the part, because bottom to top level planning will be done. So it means right answer will be all of them. They all are the part of your governing council of NITI Aayog. Now, who is the chairman of NITI Aayog? So as I have told you, chairman post is ex officio post. Ex officio post means a post have been decided. Whatever happen, whoever becomes the particular authority of that particular post will automatically becomes the chairman of NITI Aayog, and that is the prime minister's post. That's the prime minister post. So who is the chairman of NITI Aayog? It is the prime minister. Okay, so this is what we have discussed about your IFS unit number 3, part number 2. Now, in the next sessions, we will be continuing this session. But before that, if you are thinking about, because NITI Aayog is not ending here, NITI Aayog has a lot of new commitments that have been done, lot of new achievements have been done, lot of new targets have been taken. All this you have to cover because that's the part of your syllabus. Now, for that, you can join our regular paid batches, regular classes in which in detail conceptual study we are doing. And that is going to start from 20th of November. From 20th of November, I will be starting that batch. It will be an English medium batch. How to enroll in the English medium batch? Simply download the Adda 24/7 application and you can use the code Y496 to get the 81% discount. So how to enroll? To enroll, simply you have to go to the Adda 24/7 application. Do download the Adda 24/7 application. When you downloaded the application, you will find a government exam section there, and there you have to select the JAIIB, CIB. Okay, then go to the May 2024 paper and do check these batches. So you can see the Sankalp Comprehensive English Medium batch is starting from 20th of November. If you want an individual batch now, that is also available. You can see AFM, RBWM, PPB, IE, IFS, all individual batches are available. How to enroll? Just click on the particular batch, do read all the offerings, click on the buy now option and use a code here. That is Y496. Okay. When you use the code Y496, you will get here the 81% discount. And if you find any kind of problem at the time of enrolling in the batch, you can use this particular code. You can use this particular number and ask your query by the person. Okay. So this is how you can enroll in the Mahapack as well. Mahapack provides you the other benefit with the double validity. What are the other benefits? Like in the future, when we will be introducing the revision batches, that will be free of cost added in your account. Or whatever type of batch will come in the future, all the batches will be added in your account free of cost. So once you have to pay around 5,000 something amount, that will give you 1 year validity plus everything that will be introduced in the office of Adda 24/7 for your May 2024 paper. So after enrolling in the Mahapack, you do not have to again spend any other money. Okay, so this is what we are talking about in this particular session. So now let's end the session here. But before ending the session, do not forget to join these sessions back to basic series every day in the morning at 7:30 a.m. Also do share this session with your known ones who are preparing for the May 2024 exam. And also do not forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that all the upcoming sessions notification will be given to you. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining the session and have a good day. Bye-bye.